The Buffalo Bills, of course, Josh Allen. You got to be thankful for that guy. Otherwise, they would have nothing. He has saved the franchise. So
Yeah, like for my family, we write down what we're thankful for on like a little like note. They've
mm,
been reusing the same Josh Allen note. They just bring it to Thanksgiving. They just keep,
fair enough. Yeah.
you know,
It's like a picture
but
of him.
it's just a picture of Josh.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast, Field Goals and Forecast, presented by Afterthought Sports, now on WSGU 88.3 FM, The Buzz. I'm Ryan Addio alongside James Derrick, or at least somewhat alongside James Derrick. Of course,
Yeah,
this is the Thanksgiving episode of Field Goals and Forecast, and we are at home. So a little bit of a different, whatever you call this, but we're making it work. We're here, and we've got a lot to talk about. Of course, the Bills. And then, our field goals of the week, the good, the no good, the not even close. And then our forecast for next week. And then our fantasy starts and sits, not in that order, of course. But let's talk about the Bills. Not really much to say, honestly. They lose. They lost.
Yeah, lost bad, terrible. I wish I didn't watch the game at all, to be completely
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
It was one of those that while you're watching it, you just hope, you hope maybe you can figure something else to do,
Yeah.
that night.
Yeah.
But they always reel you back in a little bit. Like they stay in the game just enough. You're like, maybe we'll just win ugly this week.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, the longer you watched it, the more you're kind of like, oh, we're going to lose this game. It was kind of like in the beginning, it was like, all right, yeah, whatever. We're starting slow. Their defense is tough. We'll figure it out. We did not. We just did not figure it out. The Texans' great defense really forced Josh Allen's hand, forced the entire offense's hand. You lose that one 23-19. So
No,
what
I
can
mean
you
the
say? I
tech.
mean, like you said, they kept us in it, the hook and ladder
Yeah,
in the fourth quarter, and then just didn't matter. So
I,
I
we
don't
should
know.
really start setting up a camera to catch some reactions to like the things that happen. When we're all at the townhouse because I'm not even joking. I was like happy, like I let out a little like holy crap, when we got that hook and ladder. But all like every Bills fan there was just
Yeah.
we knew we were gonna somehow screw this up anyways. It didn't matter. They're just roping you back in for the couple seconds that they can.
It was like, oh man, I can't believe we just did that. Then it was like, oh wait, it doesn't matter. And where was that
Doesn't
the
matter.
entire game? I mean, the game plan just wasn't really there for me. But the sun's coming out. Anyway, Josh Allen really struggled last week. He had 6 touchdowns. This week, he went 24 of 34, 253 yards, 2 interceptions, 5 rushes, 20 yards. He had a 67.4 QB rating. And I think the big thing is he took 8 sacks. 8 sacks. It's his first time in his career that he's been sacked that much. Would you say that's really his fault, or is that the offensive line?
Well, there's a lot of things that play into that. I mean, the offensive line was a little banged up. We were playing some backups and stuff. I know Spencer Brown got hurt, but he was kind of getting tortured all day.
Yeah.
I mean, rightfully so. I mean, you're dealing with either Will Anderson or Daniil Hunter on one of those edges, and those guys are just it's absurd to try to keep in front for a whole game. You don't expect them to really get back there 8 times, but
Yeah.
you know, the Texans unit as a whole, they brought pressure well, and I mean, actually, a lot of the time they didn't even need to bring pressure. So it's a little bit on the offensive line for allowing that 4 or 5 man rush to get there, but the coverage downfield was good enough. Where I mean, Josh Allen, this is something that we really haven't seen from him in a while, where he just holds on to the ball,
Yeah.
and takes a sack, or usually he can break out, roll right, and that's where he's dangerous. But they contained him. They covered well downfield. The effort was relentless. There were some plays where Josh really had a long time, and they just still eventually got to him. Um, I think A, receivers aren't open, and B, the Texans defense is phenomenal. They're going to be a unit for these
It
last
reminds
couple
you of
weeks of the
the
season.
play that he's like scrambling around, and then he starts like going this way, and he comes back, and then Will Anderson sacks him. That was just a
Yeah,
mess. Um, but he just had no time. He had no time. I mean, the last throw when it got intercepted, not that it really mattered, But I mean, as soon as that ball snapped, pressure straight into his face. Um, he- I think it's partially both. I think the offensive line really had its struggles. I think Dion really struggled as well, which is something that normally doesn't happen. So it's like, oh, here's my trusty left tackle. Like, surely nothing's getting through him, and then it did. So,
Yeah. Well, and
you're not
even
expecting it.
last play of the game, we got a 4th and 1 and Dion backs us up to a 4th and 6 on that
That's
false
true.
start. Just something that is so uncharacteristic. I mean, he really is a great tackle. He's been like that, all reliable. But as a unit, it was a bad game for us.
Yeah, and he's really had his struggles that whole game, honestly. But James Cook able to play pretty well. 17 carries, 116 yards, touchdown, 45-yard touchdown. I mean, Khalil Shakir played really well. 8 receptions, 110 yards. He kept us alive most of the time. Then he did have that fumble, so not everyone's perfect, but just the offense. Looking at it stat wise, you would almost think that we did win the game, but then you look and you lose by what, 4 points, and Davis
Yeah.
Mills was 16 of 30. I mean, he only had
Mm.
153 yards, 2 touchdowns. Woody Marks only had 74 yards on the ground. I mean, that's great for a Bills defense. 16 carries, 74 yards. That's almost unheard of. And then Nico Collins, 55 yards. I mean, those
Yeah.
stats alone, you would be like, no way the Texans won this game.
Yeah, and well, but we talked about it last episode. I think it's the 28-point mark. If we don't hit that, we don't win.
It's
And
true.
I mean, we didn't hit it in this game. Um, we only needed 24 points this time, and
Yeah, I
lo
guess
and
that's
behold,
fair.
we still end up losing. I think you make a great point. You look at the box, and you're like, this Bills defense kind of did what they had to do. The Texans they played field position very well. I feel like the Bills were, back in their like, behind the 20 a lot, pinned in their own territory. There were a lot of times where we had to punt to them and they started with good field position. And I think they played off that. They kicked their field goals, got their points.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, but I guess the stats that really matter um, are the 8 sacks. First of all, I mean that's gonna kill you, and then Kalen Bullock, 2 interceptions and a forced fumble. And the funny part about that is, I was looking back on this. He was one of the guys that the Texans drafted with the Cardinals pick that they traded to get Will Anderson. Does that make sense? So back in 2022 or
Like he was a throw in there.
2023. So I guess so. But like 2023, they draft Stroud second overall. Then they trade for the Cardinals pick, get the third pick, draft Will Anderson, and then one of those like random picks that were thrown in there ended up
Mm,
being Kalen Bullock. So like, what a trade! I mean, what else can you say?
yeah,
But he had 2 interceptions in this one and a forced fumble. One of those
that
safeties
trade
that you look back, you're like, man, if only we could have drafted him. But
Yeah.
take what you can
That
get.
trade alone low key won the Texans the game. Will Anderson absolutely
Yeah,
destroyed us. Kalen Bullock, 2 picks and a forced fumble. Hey, sometimes a trade will win you just one game at least, straight
yeah,
up.
that's true. But then, of course, the Bills moved to 7-4. Are they out of the AFC East contention at this point? Is it Patriots pretty much?
The Patriots, they just don't have a track record of like totally fizzling out. They're such a well-coached team. You have to, admit there's going to be some sort of consistency to end the season, regardless of who they're playing. I can't count us out, um, but it's going to be difficult. We'd have to play pretty darn well to finish off the season. And the Patriots, I mean, they have been very good. I imagine they keep winning games. It's going to be hard.
Yeah. And so now, that being said, we probably don't have home field advantage for the playoffs. Is there anything that really needs to change in your mind, like coaching? Um, I don't even know where you put the blame. That's
I don't know. A lot of it starts with receivers just being open, you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
and Josh Allen when he needs to create. I don't know, against a good defense, they keep him contained pretty well. When he can't roll out, it's hard to get guys open. But something that needs to be figured out. I don't even know what it is at this point. It's past the trade deadline. You can't get a better receiver. Maybe Brandon Cooks can come
Brandon
save
Cooks,
us.
yeah, I mean that's the best option, I guess, but it's not
Yeah.
terrible. I mean, at least he's
No, no,
somewhat
no.
reliable. But now we go and play the Steelers. They're 6-5. It's on the road. You know how Mike Tomlin loves to have his positive records. I mean, what can you say? It's going to be a tough game, tougher than we want it to be. Their defense is pretty solid. I mean, if TJ Watt wreaks havoc the same way that Will Anderson did, it's just over. I mean, there's just nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But that's my. I mean, I'm still taking the Bills, but he
I'm
could be
still
a game
taking the
wrecker.
Bills too, but
Yeah.
yeah, he could absolutely destroy us.
But let's move into our field goals of the week. And no, we're not talking about kicks. We're talking about the good, the no good, and the not even close. In other words, just what went well this week and what didn't. And again, when I'm talking about the Chiefs, the good is always mixed with the bad. You take it how you can. The Chiefs' playoff hopes stay alive with the win over the Colts, 23-20 in overtime. The Chiefs moved to 6-5. The Colts moved to 8-3. Overtime thriller win at home for Kansas City. Mahomes was 29-46, 352 yards and interception. He took 4 sacks and he had a 77.4 QB rating. He also had a couple rushes. Kareem Hunt, if you would believe it, had 30 carries for 104 yards and a touchdown. Okay. Like, what a random. The Chiefs never really have a running game, but that's just.
Hey
I
man,
just
30,
can't believe it.
30 carries, bro.
30 carries. They had a game plan and they stuck to it. And honestly, defensively, the game plan really worked. Daniel Jones was 19 of 31, 181 yards, 2 touchdowns, 99 QB rating, not terrible. But Jonathan Taylor was the big name here. 16 carries for 58 yards only. They completely limited him. The defense from Kansas City has always been really good. And I think, honestly, that's why they come out of this game with a win. But
Yeah, seriously. I mean, hey, a lot of defenses are saying, let's do everything we can to make sure Jonathan Taylor doesn't wreck this game. And as long as he doesn't, Daniel Jones won't be
yeah,
able to just straight up beat us.
does
And
not have a clutch bone in his body at all.
you've seen it for a couple weeks now. You know, Daniel Jones has not. He hasn't gotten it done. I wish I could have watched this game a little bit closer. This was during my drive home, like literally
Mm,
during my drive home, and I just kept having my co-pilot Austin give me the updates as everything happened. But I like the game started and Colts went up, and I'm like, all right, dude, they got Jonathan Taylor. Like
mm-hmm.
they can settle into the run game, and they just never did.
No.
And that's where you just got to give the Colt or the Chiefs defense a ton of credit. And, you
And
know,
I'm looking at their
they stuck to
upcoming
the game plan.
schedule. I mean, they're sitting at 6-5. Everyone's like, are they going to be in the playoffs? Are they not going to be in the playoffs? Next week they play the Cowboys. I think that's a very winnable game. That's on Thanksgiving, and then they play the
Cowboys playing
Texans.
pretty well though.
They are playing pretty well, I will say, but it is a winnable game. It's always, I mean,
Yeah,
hate to
100%.
say it, but Cowboys are always going to be a winnable game.
They always will
Terrible
be.
defense. What else can you say? But then you go and play the Texans. Opposite case. Great defense. We'll see how that one plays out. The Chargers is going to be tough. Titans. The Broncos are going to be tough. The Raiders to end out the season as well. So, I mean, you got 2 pretty easy games in there, but otherwise, I mean, that schedule could really wreck you.
Yeah, they've got to prove themselves. You know, they too many times this year. I think they've lost to teams that they really just should have. You know, they should have won that game. Should have won that game. Well, that's when it comes back to bite you. These are the games that you're not supposed to win now. You know,
Yeah.
these are the games that are really a toss up, and you're sitting at around 500. So, hey, go Cowboys this week.
Yeah, I guess
Come on.
that's the only week that I'll root for the Cowboys. But
Yeah.
AFC is so weird right now. The Ravens now lead the AFC North with a win over the Jets 23-10, and the Steelers lose to the Bears. They're leading the AFC North at 6-5. Let me make that
Yeah.
very clear. Okay. I don't even
This
know
is
what to
a
say.
strange
Like
year.
I thought they were going to be a wild card team. Don't get me wrong, but like I never thought they would lead the North. And now the Bills are probably going to be a wild card team. The Chiefs are a wild card team, probably. It's just a mess right now. I won't even lie. It's a mess. And Ravens wise, Lamar's not even doing the heavy lifting. He kind of just played football Like he just played
He'd
football
just
on
be
Sunday.
playing
Like he just
football.
13 of 23, 153 yards, 7 rushes, 11 yards. That's not a Lamar Jackson stat line. That's just like that's a Davis Mills stat line. That is the exact same stat line as Davis Mills.
It's almost identical.
Yeah. And then, of course, Zay Flowers, 58 yards. Derrick Henry doing the lifting here, 21 carries, only 64 yards with the 2 touchdowns. And then, of course, it's the Jets, right? Tyrod Taylor, 17 of 28, 222 yards, a touchdown, an interception, 82.7 QB rating. Brees Hall had 44 yards, 75 yards through the passing game, which led the team. John Mechie, big shout out to him. 6 receptions, 65 yards, a
Hey,
touchdown. Where do the Ravens sit in your mind right now? Are they like a playoff, like Super Bowl contender?
well, I mean, the way that they looked without Lamar, and then to have Lamar come back and they immediately snap into place
Yeah,
is a very good sign if you're a Ravens fan. I think you're feeling comfortable. You're looking around some other teams that are 6-5, and you go, Chiefs 6-5, Steelers 6-5. The Bengals are just trash right now.
sure.
So you feel very, very good about your chances. I don't know if they can accumulate enough wins to be out of the wild card. I mean, it's only two teams that get the bye,
Right.
but they very well could not be a wild card team and have a first round bye. I could see them as a team that's very dangerous. They still got Lamar, they got Derrick Henry. The defensive pieces are going to start coming back. It's only a matter of time before this team is where they should be again. And if they just get hot, they could win out seriously. They can beat literally anybody.
Yeah, and when you're in a division with the Browns and the Bengals and the Steelers, then you're not really not ever really in hot water. But I will move on because I don't want to really lambast the AFC North. But let's get on to Jameis Winston here. Last bit of our good. You mentioned it last week. Like if Jameis Winston wins this game, this is this is like awesome. Like he took the
Yeah.
Lions to overtime, lost 34-27, 18 of 36, 366 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. It's Jameis Winston. You got to expect that. 4 rushes, 13 yards, 1 reception, 33 yards, and a touchdown. Insane play. Honestly, play of the year. Hit the Heisman pose, got around the DB, or I guess it was a linebacker, but still, unbelievable play. Just doing everything in his power to keep them in this game. And then Jahmyr Gibbs. So, what are you going to do?
I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is just straight like I like when they do like the little rankings. I know the players hate the PFF rankings, because
Yeah.
definitely annoys them. Um, but you see Gibbs, he's always ranked one of all running backs. And you're like, wow, really? One? And then the first snap of the game, he gets the ball going towards the outside, and you're like, oh my God, he's so fast. And like you just forget, like you're like, holy crap, he's the fastest dude I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's really all I have to say about Jahmyr Gibbs.
The Lions had one play in overtime, by the way. It was a handoff and it went 64 yards. He had 15 carries, 219 yards, 2 touchdowns, 11 receptions, 45 yards, and a touchdown. And then on the opposite side, Wan'Dale Robinson was the driving force of the Giants offense. 9 receptions, 156 yards, a touchdown. What a weird game. What a weird game. But
Yeah, definitely weird, but I mean, hey, the Giants they excite me,
I'm happy.
but
I'm happy for Jameis Winston. I really am.
yeah,
So
but
but let's get into the no good.
yeah,
Not a ton of no good this week. The Eagles are no good. That's the main point here. They choke a 21-0 lead to their rival, the Cowboys. Cowboys are now 5-1. They're on a 2-game win streak, and they score 24 unanswered points to win the game. Dak went 23 of 36, 354 yards, 2 touchdowns, an interception. George Pickens, 9 receptions, 146 yards, a touchdown. Javonte Williams, 20 carries, 87 yards. George Pickens, what a weird. I could have never expected this year from him. If I'm being completely honest with you, I had there was no way. If you came to me at the start of the season and said George Pickens will be second in the league in receiving yards, I would not have believed you. Like,
well,
is he elite
we
this year?
we played the game, and stat leaders last week. It took me a long time to
Yeah,
guess George Pickens is one of the top guys. Um, Probably too long, to be honest, because he has been dominant. I just really, it's not someone you think of when you're trying to name the best in the league in terms of receiving yards. But he's been a threat, and he's proven that if you got another guy on the roster that's technically your one,
Yeah.
CD, he's drawing the best, coverage on one side of the field. Pickens, he gets someone else. I mean, he's proven that when he slides down a slot, he's very, very, very dangerous. He's wide receiver one caliber playing wide receiver two, I
Yeah.
think. And
Yeah.
this offense has just been so dominant, so good. I mean, there's so many good names. I mean, Dak has just been unbelievable. I mean, he
Hmm.
threw for over 350 yards against the Eagles. We
Yeah.
saw what they just did to the Lions. They absolutely put the Lions in a chokehold. So
The Lions in a
this
cage.
is they put the Lions in a cage. You said it. Good job, Ryan.
Thank you.
Very
I'll
good.
be here all night. This kind of and you're gonna have to hear me out on this one. It kind of reminds me of like the Juju Smith-Schuster like 2019 year when AJ or Antonio Brown was their wide receiver one. He was the wide receiver two, but he was just lighting it
Mm,
up. That's kind of
yeah.
what I think of, like his last good year, but not the point. Of course, on the other side, the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, 27 of 39, 289 yards, a touchdown, 7 carries, 33 yards, 2 touchdowns. AJ Brown, the leading receiver, not something you always see. 8 receptions, 110 yards, a touchdown. In the final 30 minutes, so second half, basically, the Eagles scored no points and they fumbled twice and they only had 63 rushing yards. So that'll do it.
I
That'll do
mean,
it.
yeah, Dallas just made some plays. Like seriously, they just made some great, some good strips. Some special teams was even pretty big for them. The big fumble there.
Mhm.
Um, Straight up, if your defense sucks, at least make some plays, and that's what they did. That was the big difference.
Yeah. But of course, not a game they really wanted to lose, not a game that they thought they were going to lose. I would have loved to see my roommate, Caden, who's a Eagles fan, his reaction. And of
Yeah,
course, your co pilot, Austin. I'm sure that was a fun one as well.
dude.
But let's get
Yeah.
into the not even close. Uh, and here's a guy. Now, I don't mean to sound like Chris Collinsworth, but here's a guy that I really want to talk about because I I can't talk enough about how bad JJ McCarthy has been. I genuinely don't know if there's a worse quarterback in the league right now. Like, you could make the case for any quarterback over JJ McCarthy right now. I feel like that's not crazy to say. It,
No, it's not. That's not. I
yeah,
I, I
I just wanted affirmation, but the Packers, they lost this one, or I'm sorry, the Vikings lose to the Packers 23-6. The Vikings didn't score a single touchdown. JJ McCarthy was 12 of 19, 87 yards, 2 interceptions, 34.2 QB rating. This is just a friendly reminder that if you spike the ball into the ground 20 times, your rating would only be 39.6. So somehow worse than that. He now ranks,
That's my favorite stat.
I knew you'd like that. That's why I threw that in there. But
My
he
favorite.
now ranks 851st of 852 qualified QBs since 2000 in expected points added. So, like, expected points added, from what I gathered, is like a wins above replacement in baseball. Like, if you
Yeah,
change him out, how much is the team going to change? They're probably going to be better. Is
probably.
and do you know who the 852nd quarterback is?
No, I have no idea.
If you wanted to take a guess, if you
No, I literally don't have a guess. It's probably someone I've never heard of. Is it unless they're notable? Are they notable?
it is Jamarcus Russell.
Oh, okay.
So
So literally, arguably the biggest bust ever.
yeah. So
Okay.
keep that in mind. I just want to say, keep that in mind. Do you think? I mean, this is kind of a dumb question, but do you think he's holding his team back right now?
Well, you know, I hate to be so rough on the kid because I know he's got a difficult job. And I remember when he was mic'd up week one, he's like, "Don't lose faith in me." He's talking to Justin Jefferson. He's like, "Don't lose faith in me, man." He's losing faith in you.
Yeah.
He's
No,
100% losing.
they're so frustrated right now on the sidelines. It's crazy,
Yeah.
but um, At what point do you move on from a guy you selected, what, 10th overall, 11th overall, ninth overall, one of the two?
You can't move on yet. I mean, you do still have a great coach that can probably untap some of this potential that they see in JJ McCarthy. You got to give it some more time. I'm not sure what that time frame is. Does he keep playing like this? 12 for 19, 87
Yeah.
yards. That's pretty bad. I don't know how much longer they can hold on with that happening. But if you do see some games, you're like, oh, he threw for 300 yards or this or that, and then you can give him 2 more years, but 3 more years. But 12 for 19, 87 yards, two
Yeah.
picks
He's
would have
got to
done
show
better if he
something.
spiked the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Got to show something. And he has a concussion right now. So if the team plays better without him, if they win next game without him, it's not good. It's not a good look. Let's just put it that way. But moving on to our final bit of not even close, it's the Raiders. That's really all I got to say. Geno Smith is
These
pretty
Raiders, dude.
pretty bad at football, and they fired their offensive coordinator Chip Kelly after half a season. Geno Smith, 30 of 44, 285 yards, a touchdown. Ashton Genty had about 50 yards. Tyler Lockett, 62 yards. Genty had some receptions. Um, I got to ask, like, what are the Raiders doing? Do they know what they're doing? I mean, did they make any good offseason moves? Did they do anything besides draft Ashton Genty and then like hope for the best? Because they hired an offensive coordinator in the offseason who they just fired halfway through the season. They're probably
Yeah.
going to move on from Geno Smith after this year. And I would have to imagine they move on from Pete Carroll as well after this year.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Just a lost season. Just totally gone.
yeah,
Like, just pretend that this year didn't happen. But they I don't know, they've got, like, some cornerstone guys. They got, Genty offensively, Max Crosby on the defensive end. They're a good team to rebuild in Madden franchise right now.
that is true.
I'll tell you
That
that.
is true.
But right now, they have got nothing going for 'em. I'm sorry
They
to
have
break
Brock
that up,
Bowers and
but
Ashton
yeah.
Genty. That is it. Like, I'm
Yeah.
serious. That might be it. The offensive line is terrible. What else can you say? I don't know. But hold
They're
on.
just not even close.
That would be correct. But let's move on to our extra point. And this week, since it is Thanksgiving, we have a little bit of a special Thanksgiving segment for you guys. What every team should be thankful for this Thanksgiving. I mean, we kind of did this last year, but I thought it was pretty fun. I thought it was pretty, pretty interesting.
You know, someone's gotta bring it up. Usually for me, it's my aunt every time.
Yeah, that's
We're
true.
about to eat some food. Finally gotta, about to dig in Thanksgiving and no, we gotta everybody go around, say what you're thankful for. So
It's a
NFL
tradition. It's
team's gonna have to
classic.
do it too. Yeah.
Do you want to start us off? You do the first team, I'll do the second. You do the third type of thing.
Yeah, we'll trade off.
We'll
We're
go in
gonna start
alphabetical
off.
order.
Yeah, Arizona Cardinals. They've gotta be thankful for Jacoby Brissett saving their butt without Kyler Murray, and, Trey McBride is finally getting the benefits of that, so Jacoby Brissett, thank you.
Yeah, finally catching some touchdowns. But of course, I'll talk about the Atlanta Falcons. They're very thankful that there is a next year and the fact that ACL surgeons exist because without them, they would be completely lost. I think it's time to just pack it up, move on to next year, and hopefully, Michael Penix is just not his knee is just not absolutely destroyed. So
Yeah, hopefully not. I wish I could give you some more there, but,
there's not much
all
more.
I can
Yeah,
do is hope and be grateful.
yeah. I'm
So,
very thankful that next year exists. They're not kicking
yeah,
us out of the NFL yet.
time moves on, relegation is not a thing, but for the Baltimore Ravens, they gotta be thankful. They're in a terrible division, and their players are coming back from injury.
Yeah.
So now they're in a really good spot to really just launch into the playoffs at this point.
They're very thankful that the Steelers are not good enough to beat them out. But the Buffalo Bills, of course, Josh Allen. You got to be thankful for that guy. Otherwise, they would have nothing. He has saved the franchise. So,
Yeah, like for my family, we write down what we're thankful for on like a little like note. They've been reusing the same Josh Allen note. They just bring it to Thanksgiving. They just keep,
fair enough. Yeah.
you know.
It's like a picture
but
of him.
it's just a picture of Josh. But anyways, now the Carolina Panthers, they gotta be thankful for Rico Dowdle being an
Yeah.
insanely great running back. Someone they just picked up in free agency that a lot of teams probably just wrote off.
Yeah. I mean, I could not have told you Rico Dowdle was going to be as good as he is this year. But of course, the Chicago Bears, they got to be thankful for a pretty bright future, all things considered. And they're at the top of the division. Their team decided they would like to play football this year. After all of the hype, after all the expectations, they're finally winning. So they got to be thankful for that.
100%. And for the Cincinnati Bengals, really not too much to be thankful for.
No,
Really
no,
not. I
in all
mean, Joe
honesty.
Burrow has been out, defense has been horrible, but the one bright spot in it all is at least Joe Flacco still slinging that thing back there. And, no one's been totally unhappy in terms of, T. Higgins or Jamar Chase. They still produce, if they've been unhappy just with the defense. So, be grateful for that at least.
And Joe Burrow does come back soon. I mean, at
Yeah.
least there's that.
Supposed to play Thursday night. I doubt it, but,
We'll see.
hey.
We'll see. That would be a Thanksgiving miracle if those exist. But the Cleveland Browns, again, not too much to be thankful for, but a great defense, in all honesty, and a great draft class as well. So far, most of their picks have really worked out.
Yeah, I feel like you don't really hear that from the Browns too often. Great draft
That's
class.
true. That is
Good
very,
job.
very true.
The Cowboys, they got to be thankful that Jerry Jones has got to be gone soon. Got to be gone soon. Yeah, I don't know if they have anything to be thankful for from him this year,
Yeah.
but he's leaving soon. Be grateful, all right? And the Micah deal wasn't that bad. It
It
wasn't
wasn't terrible. It wasn't
wasn't that
terrible.
bad. Definitely, you think they could have gotten some more though after seeing the value on some guys like Quinn Williams
That's
and
true.
Sauce Gardner, but and then George Pickens too. I mean, they kind of do have a lot to be thankful for. The ups and downs, but George Pickens is, as
Lots
you
of ups and
mentioned,
downs. Yeah.
number 2 in the entire NFL in receiving
It's
yards.
crazy. And then, of course, the Denver Broncos, they're sitting with the best record in the AFC, and they have an insane defense. You got to be thankful for that for sure.
Yeah. Um, keep it rolling. Detroit Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs was
Yeah.
the correct pick, and Aiden Hutchinson is coming back from injury fine.
Yeah. For the Packers, it actually was a lot harder to think about what they are thankful for, but they have Micah Parsons. They're thankful for
That's it.
Jerry Jones. That's pretty much it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah. Houston Texans. I mean, hey, this is a weird thing to be thankful for, but Davis Mills, he's
That's
keeping the
true.
season alive. He's kept the ball moving, and I mean, the defense has very much so picked them up. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, Lassiter is amazing too. All those guys, they have so many good pieces.
Yeah. And then the Colts staying in the same division. Jonathan Taylor. All right, moving on.
Jacksonville Jaguars, their defense is pretty good. Devin Lloyd, he's showed up and balled out. So, that's at least something to be thankful for.
Yeah. Kansas City Chiefs. The season isn't over, and Rashee Rice is really good at football. I think they can be very, very thankful that the Colts collapsed last week.
Yeah, this one's going to be difficult, though. The Las Vegas Raiders, Brock Bowers, maybe Ashton Genty, I suppose.
I don't know.
Skip is gone.
He
Maybe
is
that's
gone.
something
That
to
is
be
that is
thankful
true.
for.
They might have some hope still left.
Yeah, so I think we'll settle on that. Chip is gone, and kind of along with your Falcons, next year exists.
Next year exists. Of course, the Los Angeles Chargers are next. They got to be very thankful for Justin Herbert. He's pretty good at football. And Omarion Hampton comes back soon. They have a running game finally. So,
Yeah, they're gonna need that. But team that has had a running game, the Rams, Los Angeles Rams. Les Snead has created an amazing team. Matthew Stafford's back is fine, playing like an MVP.
yeah, it's true.
Kyron Williams is amazing as well. Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, so many things to be grateful for the Rams.
The Dolphins, not too much to be thankful for. They have been winning, and Devon Achane is really good, and Jalen Waddle's playing pretty well as well.
Yeah, and maybe could have traded some of those guys, but no,
It's true. It's true.
it's not. Minnesota Vikings. Well, you've got pretty much everything an NFL team needs besides a quarterback. So
Yeah. Okay.
be thankful for that.
You're thankful for the 52 other players on the team. I mean, you can say that.
Yeah.
The Patriots, same thing as the Colts, but different. Of course, Drake May.
You know, keep it moving.
Yeah,
New Orleans Saints, also pretty short. Not much to be thankful for, but the first pick in the NFL draft for this upcoming season seems likely for them.
that's true. Yeah.
That's
Um,
something.
Another team that might also be in contention for that, the New York Giants, but they have Jackson Dart, they have Cam Scadaboo. Things are theoretically looking up.
Yeah, in theory. The New York Jets, though, draft picks. That what we're thankful for at this point?
Draft picks, yeah.
All right. As the New York Jets.
Are you
Draft.
thankful for Tyrod Taylor? Like, I don't know.
No.
Yeah. And then the Eagles, they're very thankful that the tush push did not get banned this offseason. They use that like crazy. I've seen
Yeah,
them do 4 tush pushes in a row.
and maybe motivational books to keep
Yeah,
AJ Brown from losing
true.
his mind. Yeah,
Yeah, he's
I think.
back.
um, Pittsburgh Steelers, they got to be thankful that at least so far, I mean, sitting at 6-5, Aaron Rodgers, by all means, has worked out, and Tomlin should be able to maintain his little positive record thing that he's got
Yeah,
going on. His
we'll see.
wizardry.
And then, of course, the 49ers have to be very thankful that the offense looks all right, maybe outside of Brock Purdy, and that CMC hasn't been injured yet. A knock on wood here, but he has not been injured just yet.
Yeah, be careful. I'm gonna come back next week and blame you when he gets hurt. So
Yeah.
just saying, I'm knocking on wood too. Seattle Seahawks. I mean, the team is great,
Yeah.
and I mean, the flashing, blinking light of what to be grateful for. Jackson Smith and Jigba has just been the best player in football.
Yeah, pretty much. Not much more to say. And then, of course, the Buccaneers, the Baker Mayfield experiment has pretty much worked out. They took a risk on him. It's done wonders. And Emeka Egbuka was a great pick at the end of the day. He's played great.
Yeah, I mean, hey, the fact that Baker's worked out for this many seasons, you figure maybe you'll get one good year out of him. No, he's produced,
Yeah.
so good for them. Tennessee Titans.
It's a tough one.
Hopefully, when he develops in due time, Cam Ward.
I don't know. I
It's
can't really think of
difficult to come
much
up with
else.
one.
They fired their coach. I mean, that's something, I guess.
I don't know, man. Maybe that's it. That's a sad list of things to be grateful for.
And then the last bit of thankfulness here, the Washington Commanders. Marcus Mariota is a very good backup, and Jaden will be okay. The way that his elbow looked, I wasn't sure about it, but he will be okay, hopefully. So
yes. Hey, I think that about wraps it up.
yeah, but hopefully, your team has something to be thankful for this year. Hopefully, you have something to thank your team for, and maybe you're very thankful for your fantasy team as well, because playoffs are coming up, and we're going to try to help you out as much as we can here. Let's get into our fantasy starts and sits. I'm sitting at 30-30 for the starts right now, which, man, the downfall has been crazy. I went 1-4 in back-to-back weeks. I'm going to try to be better this week, and I'm sitting at 38-22 in sits. I was 3-2 last week, so at least I know who to sit. That's something.
No, I'll give you something for that. I'm not doing too hot. However, actually, last week I cooked. I was 5-0 on my starts,
Wow.
4-1 on my sits.
It's a great week for you.
It was a phenomenal week. Really, the only sit that I didn't hit on was Jake Ferguson, and I mean, if you get 11 points for a tight end, that's good. So I really can't say that was a worthy sit.
I mean, we've talked about it. It's probably like a push, but it doesn't matter.
They'll be added next year. Okay.
Yeah. Let's get into the QB starts. I'm going to go with Bo Nix at Washington. They give up the 4th most points, and they're coming off a bye. The Broncos are coming off a bye, and they have the best record in the AFC.
I like that one. I also like Jacoby Brissett. He's still hot, folks.
He's in the saddle for me right now. and my
Um,
playoff team. He's
he
taking the reins.
yeah,
Um,
firmly place him in control of your fantasy team.
and then wide receiver, I'm going to go with Christian Watson, guy who's on my bench right now. At Detroit, they give up the fourth most points to wide receivers, and he's been pretty decent recently. He's averaging about 9 to 15 points. So that he had a 20 bomb somewhere in there. So
I like that. I actually, you know what? I feel you can feel good about that, but I think you also have to feel good about Michael Wilson, slot guy for the Cardinals. He's just been so good. Well, Greg Dortch as well. So kind
yeah.
of whichever one of those, if you like seriously, if you have some injury problems,
And
start
maybe
Dortch.
if Marvin Harrison comes back from his appendicitis or whatever,
Yeah, yeah. So
something along those lines.
Arizona receivers, I'm taking anyone from Dortch to Marv.
Yeah.
Michael Wilson's the in between. I mean, he's unironically exploded. He had a 38.5 point game. He was up in the 20s again this past week. He's going to do more of the same. So, especially with
Why would they
Jacoby
need to
Brissett.
run the ball?
Well, they
But
also just don't have running.
yeah,
I mean, Trey Benson might come back this week.
that's true.
Bam Knight has been okay. It's just like they can't run the ball. So just chuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But speaking of running the ball, let's get into running back. I'm going to go with Travion Henderson. Haven't really talked about him too much, but at the Giants, they give up the second most points, and he's really solidified that number one back role finally in the latter half of the season.
Yeah. Honestly, it was a long time coming. But,
Yeah.
you know, it wouldn't be fantasy starts and sits if we didn't just tell you to start whoever's playing the Bills for running back. Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell should see enough here in this game. I mean, for a team that like Pittsburgh that does kind of struggle to move the ball through the air as well, Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell are going to dominate this game.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then at tight end, I'm going to go with Dalton Schultz. He's been a little bit quiet recently, but he's playing Indianapolis. Stroud is going to come back probably this week, and Indianapolis gives up the tied third most points to tight end. He's my guy.
Yeah,
Honestly, he's been
I
so consistent.
yeah, pretty solid. Mark Andrews has been okay. He's like I think tight end 15. So in a
Yeah.
lot of leagues, he's technically not good enough to be in that top 12 range. But I think you start him against Cincinnati. The problem with Mark Andrews is just he has his 16-point weeks and his 2-point weeks.
Yeah.
Just gonna try to guess the right week. He's playing Cincinnati. He's gonna have his chances against that bad of a defense.
And then, of course, the flex spot here. I'm going to go with another tight end. I'm going to go with TJ Hawkinson at Seattle. JJ is probably out, and the Seahawks give up the third most as well. So yeah, you got to have a safety blanket for whoever comes in.
Yeah, yeah, I can agree with that. But for my flex, I'm gonna say Emeka Egbuka. Now, hear me out. He's really, I mean, he's had his explosive weeks, but in his past, in his 5 of his last 6 weeks, if you exclude Week 10 against the Patriots, he's scoring 7 points per game. He has
Yeah.
really struggled. I could foresee that a lot of people have thrown him on the bench for now. I think Arizona, that's going to be a game where he finally gets back. He's not going to stay down for too long. Even in the games that he's struggled, he's had 12, 9, 13, 9, 8 targets. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. Targets is the big thing. And then, of course, let's get into our sits who we don't think is going to get targeted. I'll start with the QB, though. Daniel Jones at Houston. Come on. I mean, he's coming off a good game. Texans defense is just too tough. They're the best in the league.
I really like that pick and would have taken it if you didn't fill this out before me, as you
Yeah.
usually do, Ryan.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're
It is what it is. I get
way more on top
first
of me.
dibs, honestly.
Yeah, most of the time. I'm gonna have to go for QB Sam Darnold
Mhm.
versus Minnesota. I think
Former
there's no
team.
way he has a good revenge game here.
Mm.
If you want to call it that. I mean, but
Probably.
Minnesota's just got too good of a defense. I think Sam Darnold is a little prone to throwing picks. So be
That's
careful
true.
there.
Let's get into wide receiver. I put a big question mark next to this, but I said CeeDee Lamb at Kansas City. They have the number 4 pass defense, and Pickens is just outplaying him right now. So I'm thinking they're going to guard the wide receiver 1, maybe just throw to Pickens the whole time. I would say he'll probably get under 15. We'll go with that.
All right, I like that. If you're gonna go with a stud like that, you gotta set a point limit.
It's going
And
to be hard to sit him, but
I really don't hate that. He's kind of coming off a rough week already, so
Mhm.
I like the thought. I'm gonna go Chris Olave against Miami. It's kind of a defense that's turned itself around. It's only 6th in
Yeah.
allowing fantasy points to wide receivers. And Tyler Shuck, I don't know if he's got it against a defense that is going to play as well as the Dolphins have recently.
It's true. And then I'm going to go with running back here. Rico Dowdle at the Rams. Another one that's kind of questionable, I know, but they have the number 2 rush defense. And they resort to the pass just late in the games when they go down. He had 6 touches last week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's not enough for him. I mean, he's great, but he's got to stay in the game plan. I don't know if
Right.
they'll be able to do that against the Rams. For me, it's going to be Javonte Williams versus Kansas City. As we mentioned, Kansas City they're entirely capable of taking someone out of the game. I don't know if it'll be Javonte Williams, but something I noticed last week is the Cowboys had 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line, and they passed the ball 3 straight times. I don't know if that's something they plan on fixing, but a lot of
Probably
the
not.
touchdowns that Javonte Williams has gotten and early on in the season, they've kind of turned away from that, trying to feed both Pickens, Lamb, even Ferguson here and there. So wouldn't be surprised if some of his touchdowns that he requires for fantasy output start to get
Yeah,
down there.
he has been going down and down and down. And the big thing about Javonte Williams, not to stick on that, is he gets no targets in the passing game as well.
None.
No.
Yeah, very much so needs touchdowns.
Yeah, but I'm going to go into tight end here, not to dwell. I'm going to go with Colston Loveland at Philadelphia. He has been good, don't get me wrong, but Philly is 3rd in points against the tight end. So,
Yeah, that's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Vikings to play the Seahawks as well. TJ Hawkinson at Seattle. Seattle allows
right.
a lot of points to tight ends in
You're
fantasy.
going against my start from earlier. I understand. It's all
Yeah,
right.
I am.
One of us will win, one of us will lose, or we'll both just push, but it's all the same.
Exactly. I think, as you mentioned, JJ's had some problems. It's going to be a different quarterback, but I think the Seattle defense is so good as a whole. Like, I'm not sure if I really care how many points they give up to tight ends in fantasy. I think it's more so just, I think the defense is great. So why start TJ Hawkinson?
Fair enough. Yeah. And then finally, my flex here, I'm going to go with David Montgomery at Green Bay. It feels like a pretty obvious choice, but it's just been the Jahmyr Gibbs show. 5th, and they're the 5th best in rush defense. Not much more you can say. I just don't think they're going to use him.
Yeah, I hope Roma Dunze can get used a little bit, but I don't think he
We'll
will.
see.
Philly's just had such a good defense lately. I think they started the season not too well in just the past couple of weeks. Kind of like the Dolphins, Texans. Those are just some teams of the defenses have really snapped into place. And Roma Dunze is not going to. I don't think he's going to get much.
Yeah. I mean, he's been struggling recently too, but that'll be our fantasy starts and sits. Let's get into our forecasts for next week. We can't tell you the weather, but we can make some predictions on the next week of football. I am 44-35, 4-2 last week. James, you are 28-31, 2-4.
48-31, Mister. You said 28. I don't know if you noticed that.
31. I try my best. Numbers are hard. Let's get into the Thanksgiving games, either when this comes out the day of or tomorrow. I don't know. It's tomorrow for us. So, but Packers at Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions here.
It's really tempting to just go against you for a lot of these picks, but I ended up agreeing with you on a lot of them. I'm going to go Lions as well.
And then Chiefs Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Chiefs here. You seem to
I think the Cowboys are playing well enough recently where they can build some momentum with a big win at home on Thanksgiving. I think they really want it. So, hey.
Did the Lions
Cowboys.
break their streak of just never winning on Thanksgiving?
Yes, I want to say the Lions won last year on Thanksgiving blowout fashion. I don't remember though.
Okay, because I was going to say we might just seem dumb if we pick the Lions, but anyway, Cowboys also always play on Thanksgiving. They're usually pretty good. I think it's going to be a better game than people think. And then Bengals Ravens at night. Go spend some time with your family is what that one means. I'm going to go with the Ravens.
I'm going to have to take the Ravens as well. Too many question marks surrounding Joe Burrow starting.
And then we have a Black Friday game. Bears, Eagles. Don't really care. I'm going to go with the Eagles.
I'm going to go with the Eagles too. It's just hard to pick the Bears.
1 p.m. game. Texans, Colts. I thought this was a good divisional matchup. This is the first time the Texans and the Colts are meeting this year. I'm going to go with the Texans.
I think the Texans got a good enough defense to copy and paste what everyone's been doing against the Colts. I really want to pick the Colts, but man, the Texans, I think they got it in this one.
We might look foolish after this one's done, but anyway, we'll move on to 4 p.m. So. Bills, Steelers, we're both going with the Bills. Is there a reason you chose the Bills this week?
Because I want them to win.
Fair enough. Yeah. Okay.
That's
Anyway,
seriously it.
Sunday Night Football, Broncos, Commanders. Broncos.
Yeah, Broncos. Fine.
And then,
Again, try to find time with your family.
yeah, spend time with your family on Sunday night. Monday Night Football, Patriots at Giants. I mean, Patriots. Come on.
Patriots.
Yeah, come on. And then, of course, final segment here, lock of the week. I'm 6-1. James, you're 7-0 still. You're undefeated. I'm going to go with the Broncos over the Commanders. I think that one's pretty easy. And then, James, what is your lock of the week here?
Rams have yet to steer me wrong. Rams over Panthers.
That's a pretty clear cut one. I won't lie. So
yeah, they're a buzzsaw.
Yeah, the Rams are good. They're really good, but we won't get into that. That will do it for us. Thank you guys so much for watching this special Thanksgiving episode. And we will see you all next week, hopefully in person. But until then, take care, go watch some football, and have a very happy Thanksgiving. See you guys later.